Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I finally have winter break now, and so I decided to make this video in succession to my Keg 19 video. If you haven't seen that video yet, go check it out. In that one, I showed you that I used this etching method to put the serial number onto my 3D printed item. And in this video, I wanted to show you how to actually go about doing that by using your own printer to make these own stencils. So you can write whatever you want on here, you can draw whatever you want on here, whatever is in the limits within your modeling capabilities. The materials that you're going to need for this is some hydrochloric acid, hydrogen peroxide, some oil, whatever metal that you're going to be stenciling on, and then of course your stencil. These ones you got to make on your own. I'll show you in a little bit how to make those. As far as the hydrochloric acid, you can use anything from hydrochloric acid to muriatic acid to bricklayer's acid. It's all the same thing. This one here that I have is 32%. It is a little bit old, so I don't think that's pretty accurate anymore, but it'll do the job. It doesn't have to be super accurate. Hydrogen peroxide, this stuff you can find easily anywhere. This is just regular 3% solution. For the oil, try to stick with a light kind of oil. You can use gun oil that I have here. This is Hoppy's. Or you can use something like cutting board oil, or even like a light motor oil might even work. And then for measuring out, you want to have either a graduated cylinder or some of these little pipettes here. I'm going to stick with these since we're going to be going with some small quantities here. All I really need is just a couple mils. These ones go up to 3 mils. And then, of course, since we're going to be working with some pretty dangerous stuff here, the hydrochloric acid, you want to make sure that you have yourself a sodium bicarbonate solution made up, where you just take some baking soda, mix it in with some water. There you go. And then if you have any spills, you would put this on that, and then that'll neutralize the acid, and you can use it to wash your hands if you get on you as well. And then of course, make sure that you have your proper PPE equipment. I have some goggles and some gloves. Also, you want to make sure that you're working in a well-ventilated area. I have my setup right next to my window here with the fan, and that'll just suck everything out of the window. Make sure that you're not breathing any of the stuff in. Of course, chlorine gas is not good to breathe in. Here I got my stencil loaded up in SolidWorks. This is something that you have to make your own, but it's simply a plane or a block here that's the same height as your layer thickness that you print on your printer. I have mine at 0.2 millimeters. That'll change once you load it up into your slicer, most likely. And then what you want to do is cut out your text on it. I have mine set to 70 by 40 millimeters, and the text that I have is, you can take a look here. Okay. For me on SolidWorks, I have my text at Franklin Gothic bold 0.16, and I have the layers a little bit downsized and the spacing a little bit increased. That just helps for these gaps to be properly printed. And so with the way that you have your text set out, you want to make sure that there's no it's too small gaps here. You want to watch out for areas around the G's, C's, and other letters like those where you have these complex geometries to make. Also, additionally, since this is a stencil, you're not really going to have these dots here on the B's. Also, same with letters like O's, P's, R's, Q's. You're going to have to remove those, otherwise they're going to cause issues once it comes to printing time. So then once you have that, then you just want to load it up into Cura.
or whatever slicer that you use, and make sure that it's flat on the bed, of course. Um, I'm using a skirt here. I'm not using a raft or a brim. Um, and then you just want to make sure that when you slice it, that it actually makes one layer line here. So you'll see here, it's only one layer thick, and that's pretty important. If it's too thick, it's not going to be too easy to make the stencil, and it'll be really a lot more firm, and it won't be as accurate. And so then you want to take a look at the sequence that you print this thing in, just to make sure that there's no weird things going on. You just want to make sure that everything looks fairly good, which it looks like everything is good there. And then once it goes to the fill, it's really nothing to worry about there. And I also have mine set to a hotter bed temperature than usual. I usually go with 55 degrees, but in this case I'm going to go with 65. It just helps with the bed adhesion, and it helps with all these like little end pieces being stuck to the bed.
Your printing setup is going to be pretty crucial. You're going to want to make sure that you have your glass bed really clean. You don't want any dust, you don't want any glue sticks, you just want to have plain glass. And this is going to help a lot for the glass finish on the bottom, which is really going to help it to make sure that it sticks to the metal that you're etching. Of course, making sure that your bed is really leveled. The material that I'm using is eSun PLA Plus. It seems to really adhere well to the bed, even though that it's only plain glass. Once your print is finished, you want to make sure that you wait a little bit and so that the temperature goes down on the bed. Um, so I waited here about 5 minutes. Here I can just scrape it off. There we go, pretty satisfying. And so there you can see the glass finished bottom. That's going to really help you. And this looks like a pretty quality print here. I don't see any kind of issues, any kind of holes that I see. There we go, that looks pretty good. Once you got your stencil made, you just want to make sure that there's no holes in it. This one was a test print, and you can see quite a few holes here. Just kind of in between all the letters, there's some spaces. You kind of want to avoid that. Of course, it'll still make a print and make a stencil, but you just might have those few little dots around the letters. It just really depends on the quality that you want. This one here is the one that I'm going to go with, and this is the one that I'm going to be placing on the metal. So you can see here, this is the print that I'm going to go with, and what you want to do is you want to get your oil. Make sure that the bottom of this thing is pretty clean. You can see it's got a pretty nice finish to the bottom. And then all you want to do, once you get everything off there, is then you just want to lay on all the oil onto it. And make sure you got to put a good amount on it. And then all you want to do is just smear it around. Get a nice thin layer on there. Make sure everything is really covered. You want to make sure that all of these letters have oil on them. And then you want to go ahead and give it a good look, make sure it's all covered, and then find a place where you want to put it down. I'm going to go right in the middle here. And we want to start with one side, put it down, and you'll see how the oil kind of penetrates there. And you can see all these spots where they don't have oil there. You just want to press it out, make sure that all the oil kind of spreads around. This will give it a really good adhesion and block any of the etching acid from spilling into the other areas. Let's try to get it up there as well. Okay. That looks pretty good to me. Then of course you can take a paper towel, kind of blot it around, make sure that all of the oil on the surface is taken off. So the first thing you want to get is your container that you're going to be putting everything in, your solution. And then you want to start measuring out the acid and the hydrogen peroxide, which I'll do here. Now you're going to want 1 part of acid to 2 parts of hydrogen peroxide. So there's 3 mils of hydrochloric acid. I'm going to put in 3 more mils. There's 3 more. So that should be plenty for my use. Put this old one away and get a new one for the hydrogen peroxide, which I have to open up. So now let's get 6 mils of, no, sorry, we're going to be getting, let's see, 12 mils of this stuff here. So that's 6, and that's it. And 1 more. There we go, so we got a 1-to-2 solution now. So now comes the part of putting the acid onto the stencil. All you're going to do is you're going to pipette some of the acid here and then place it right onto the letters. Should form little drops, just like that. And then try to spread it around. Make sure you're doing this on an even surface, otherwise it'll try to roll off on you, which I have to adjust mine a little bit here. So now you might be noticing some color change. It's going to take a little while, maybe around 5 minutes, but you'll see it start to get a little bit yellow. Even the solution starts to get a little bit yellow as the iron becomes dissolved into the solution. And so periodically here I've been just taking this little pipette here and kind of agitating this solution. You can see it gets really kind of like bright neon yellowish, and that's how you know it's working. Plus all of the bubbles that you'll see there. So then once you're done and the reaction has finished, that's about 10 minutes for me. My hydrogen peroxide solution was a little bit old, so it wasn't as fast. You might want to go with 5 minutes, maybe 10, it just depends on how long it takes. So what I do here is I just take my pipette and I suction everything up as much as I can, and then everything else I just take a paper towel and blot everything away. You can see that gets on there pretty nicely. Let's get the other side here, just really get everything out. And then all of this you can just dump straight into here, into your sodium bicarbonate solution, and that should neutralize everything. Alright, so you can see here the final product. I cleaned everything off. I took the stencil off here, washed off all the oil, and this is what it looks like once you're done. You can see that the word big has some marks around it. That's mainly because of how you can see this print. There's a few spaces. That's just kind of what happens. If you want to avoid that, you just want to make sure that this stencil comes out, really perfect. And I actually made several attempts for that, but you can see that the lettering does come out pretty visible. I'm pretty happy with these results. It does give it a bit of a rustic kind of look. The longer that you leave the etching material on here, the further down it'll go. You may need to make more etching chemical for that if you want to, though.
Quick announcement here. I'm pretty surprised that I already have 100 subscribers just from that one video. For that reason, I'm going to be making a Discord channel or Discord server. If you want to join, there's a link on screen. Of course, I'll leave it in the description as well. So if you guys want to talk about any other DIY projects or even get in contact with me, that's the best way. So I hope to see you next time.